So a little bit about us as a company. Why WatchGuard? We've been going since '96. We were one of the first security appliance vendors in the marketplace. Back then everyone was using software, and we came along with a hardware appliance that we could support more easily. So we've always been in the security space, firstly as a firewall, and later on into what we call unified threat management. Got quite a lot of boxes out there, about 600,000 appliances at last count. About 15,000 partners. We're strongest in Americas and EMEA. UK is probably about the third largest region worldwide. We've always been at the kind of leading edge of a lot of technology. So specifically in the UTM sector, here's some of our awards. The latest one has been from Computing Security Awards. The most prolific has been specifically around UTM and what we now term XTM. Quite recently, we've also won the CRN Awards for our XCS product. It's a content security appliance, and we've got a lot of information about that we'd like to talk to you about. We've also got an SSL VPN appliance. So what I'm going to run through is about 95% of what we term XTM. So you guys will have seen that as firewalls and VPNs. But we've also got specific content security and remote access applications as well. We've been trying for ages to get into the Magic Quadrant, and we managed it about 3 years ago. So we've highlighted specifically our role in that, top right. There are other vendors here today who are also in that as well, and if you want to talk about kind of competitive advantages, that kind of thing, feel free. We teamed up with IDC, or IDC named us the UTM XTM market leader about 2 years ago. We are number 1 in the sub $2,000 sector, number 2 sub $5,000 sector, and number 3 sub $10,000 sector. As I said, 95% of what we tend to do at the moment is XTM, UTM firewalling. So we've come from a security background. We understand the risks, we understand the threats that are out there. We've put some stats, some facts and figures up there. An amazing 111% increase in malicious websites. What we tend to see, though, is more blended threats. I think one of the Netgear chaps was alluding to earlier that we tend to see both email and web. It used to be the case that when we were protecting or when we were trying to sell the antivirus aspect of our solutions, we would always go after email attachments. That's not the case anymore. It's applications that are typically web-driven. Historically, we've been very strong in SMB, sub 750 users. I've put this slide up there to kind of show you where we go to. The typical market perception that we believe of WatchGuard is around about the sub 1,500 user mark. Specifically in the UK, sub 250 users. Over the last 18 months, we've made some inroads into more enterprise markets, and we've brought out specific products to help us do that. You see them on there, they're the XTM series. It's our first kind of range into around about 5,000 user networks. The majority of what we sell is probably somewhere around this kind of level. So we're at the $500–600 to around about $3,000. We always use the phrase XTM quite a lot. Because we say it every day, we assume that everyone else knows what we mean. So I thought I'd just give you a quick example. IDC defined UTM as a firewall with VPN, intrusion prevention, antivirus, plus one of anti-spam, web filtering, or other content protection. So yeah, we do that. That's fine. We've always done that since the sort of mid-90s. What we've also got is anti-malware. A brand new feature that we've got is application control. So if you've got customers who recognize the need for Facebook, as an example, in their environment, but they want to specifically look at how to block Facebook chat, or you want to have a look, let them access to Flickr, but not necessarily the videos on Flickr. Application control is the one that's going to help you do that. We've also got URL filtering, anti-spam, antivirus, anti-malware. Got a range of appliances. In essence, is one box in 9 different flavors. We recognize that the needs of, say, Barclays Bank, for example, are the same as Joe Bloggs, who's only got 25 users. So we've put on the same features onto the little box as the same as you would see on the 1050 box. So to give you an idea of price points, start off around about £400. That's MSRPs. There's reasonable margin to be made on this. Typical street price of the products is around about 15% under MSRP. Typical retained margin is around about 20 to 25%. So the 2 and the 5 series is where we tend to sell the most product. We've also got the 8 series, which sits in for around about 5 to 3,000 users. And we've recently got a 1050, which is going to data centers and quite large NHS. Specifically because we would sell more of the XTM2 and 5 series, I've included slides in those to give you some ideas on speeds and feeds. 3 models in the XTM2 range. For those of you who are familiar with WatchGuard, I've noticed some faces that have been with us for quite some time. They've seen our Soho products, they've seen our Edge products, and many customers used to come to us and say, well, you used to limit by users on the little baby boxes. We don't do that anymore. We suggest user counts, but we don't specifically limit how many users can actually go through the box. So you want to try sticking 500 users through a 21, that's fine. It'll probably fall over, but technically you can do it. There's a wired or a wireless option. You obviously have to buy the wireless if you want it. It's not an upgrade. It's part of the actual appliance. One of the great things about WatchGuard has always been model upgrades. So if for example, a customer buys an XTM21 and their network needs change, say they acquire another company and merge, with a software license key, you can then turn it into an XTM22 or an XTM23. So you keep the same hardware, cost of ownership goes down. There's obviously a charge that goes with it. The XTM2 series we typically see as a desktop or top of rack appliance. The XTM5 series is typically where we put into 50 plus users. So this kind of environment, you're looking at racked. 4 models in the range. And again, the same as the 2 series. You can go from an XTM505 through a 510, through a 520, through a 530. Or you can just jump one right to the other. Same software license key allows you to unlock certain features and functionality. In terms of speeds and feeds, we've done analysis and we consistently message and market that we've got the best price performance in our class. So that the main message from us in terms of how we differentiate is our price versus our performance. And that's what many customers have come back to us saying. I've included the 8 series as it's more of a data center large enterprise. Exactly the same as the 2 series. So in terms of features and functions, if you want to fail over VPN, if you want to have multiple ISPs coming into your organization, both the XTM21 and the XTM830 have got the exact same feature. It's just scaled up for different size networks. We've put sample user counts on there of between 1 and 3,000 users, but that's more of a guide. So as a raw appliance, you can buy out of the box, turn it on, it will probably protect against 80 to 85% of known and unknown threats. We know that because of our zero-day protection. What we also do is add on security services on top of the appliances. So raw box plus support, you can also choose to either at point of purchase or come back to us later, 3, 6, 12, 24 months, and add on subscription services. The main ones I mentioned was application control. We also have web filtering. We have reputation-enabled defense. That's our marketing messaging for increasing the speed of web browsing. We've got the, if anyone's looked at the old Boardware appliances, we've got the domain reputationauthority.org. It's known blacklisting, and we're involved in that as well. So if we're looking at the reputation of websites, for example, we already know that they're bad, and we can encourage a customer not to AV scan. Increases the speed of the actual web performance. We've got anti-spam from ComTouch, we've got antivirus from AVG, we've got intrusion prevention services, and we've got live security. Live security is our 24/7 by 4-hour response, telephone and email support. It also gives you access to software updates and a replacement hardware warranty next business day. I touched briefly with reputation-enabled defense on, I mentioned Boardware. We bought Boardware Technologies about 18 months ago. We were interested in specifically looking at a content appliance. So what I've talked about so far has just been firewalling with VPN, with UTM services, and all that goodness that helps protect your network. So that's one element that we do. Separate to that, we've also got a second box that would sit in behind an existing firebox or any other firewall that will specifically deal with email and web content, encryption, and data loss prevention. And that's the XCS box. So I mentioned reputational defense. We've cross-pollinated from the XCS into the XTM. We'll do the same the other way around as well. This is specifically looked at for anti-spam, on a messaging application, antivirus, and also for email encryption. We've got a range of boxes, similar kind of perspective to the XTM range, as in we start off at, say, 25 to 50 users, and we scale up to about 15,000 is our current largest deployment. The only thing different in this is that you can't model upgrade. So you can't 170 to 370 to 570. You have to buy the specific appliance. If anyone's interested in pricing, feel free to give us a shout. The third part of what we've got, so we've covered XTM, firewall, VPN, antivirus, intrusion prevention as one appliance. We've covered XCS as content, email, and web security. We've also got a remote access solution. And we purchased this technology around about 2 years ago from a company called Portwise. Portwise are an SSL VPN and mobile two-factor authentication company. So as well as client or clientless SSL VPN, you can also have one-time passwords on a mobile phone, or as a soft token on your screen. So we've got two appliances. Again, these aren't firewalls. They don't do any kind of blocking or anything like that. It's just purely remote access. Mobile authentication. So what they will do is also, on a clientless access, we'll do a full cleanup. So let's say you go to a kiosk. You don't have your company laptop with you, but you need to get access to certain applications. Log on to a specific website. It will then web enable those applications for you. You can look at specifics as to how you're going to let endpoints into your network. So if you want to look at MAC address, you want to look at firewall status, you want to look at antivirus, that means you're probably going to trust that particular endpoint. If you're not going to trust that, that's fine. We've still got a clientless option. Just need a web browser. We can also tidy up everything afterwards. So if someone's in Starbucks and they just walk off, we can automatically close a session from the box and clean up anything that was still hanging around there. So that's the front end of it. It's always a problem when you work for the vendor that when you're trying to explain customization, because it's always our logo. You can put your own logos in there. You can customize the front end. You can host that for customers as well. You can have 16 different customers. Each one will have a different look and feel to it. So if you want to do that kind of thing, great, no problem at all. There's features and functions in the box that will let you do that. Just don't burst the user accounts. So I've quickly whipped through the products. I'm conscious I'm a little bit low on time. Any questions so far? Well, okay? Hi.
Do you have to have AVG antivirus? Can you have a different vendor?
It's included as part of the subscription. So from the UTM perspective, antivirus, if anyone didn't hear, it was, do you have to have AVG? That's included as part of our security subscription.
So the AVG sits in your little red box?
It's on compact flash.
So you can't have anybody else's?
On the XCS, you've got choices of Symantec or Kaspersky. But with ours, you just buy the signature set and that's it. So quickly run through the partner program. We've talked to many of you. I think Ingram's have also mailed out quite recently as well that we are looking to work with new partners. We've got an existing partner program. We're looking for growth. In 2011, our projections are around about 15%. So to do that, we need more partners. And that's why we're here today. 3 levels of partnership: associate, professionals, and experts. We've got currently about 9 expert partners doing around about $1 million a quarter. 24 professional partners doing around about 750K each per quarter. And we've also got the associates as well. The associates are probably a larger number, around about currently 75 to 80. We on average trade with around about 800 resellers over the course of a quarter through all of our distributors. And we know that the people out there who are selling the product who might like things such as training. We're running these kind of events. We're running our own events to help you guys sell the product. So the partnership program is free to join. We've got an incentive scheme that goes with it as well. So if you sell certain parts of our product range, we reward you. On average, it's $50 a box. It's a topped-up Visa card. We've got a try and buy program, and that runs through distribution. So if you've got customers who want to go down the evaluation route, possibly on some kind of SOR or similar, feel free. We can also do evaluation boxes that the same box goes out and comes back again. Partners have also got access to not-for-resale appliances. In many respects as well, your margins will change. With the professional and the expert level, there's a 4% and an 8% rebate that we include at point of purchase. Part of the marketing, we've also got lead gen as well, and I've included a few examples on there for you. We tend to go with quite an organised story, so rather than just sending out one mail shot, we would typically say to partners, well, let's do a mail shot, let's do a print campaign, let's do a telesales campaign, so everything's followed up. And there's full turnkey campaigns that are on the marketing area of our website that will help you do that. If you need help with access, please feel free to let me know. One of our sales promotions at the moment for customers who've either got legacy WatchGuard or customers who've got competing products who would like to go to WatchGuard, we call it Red instead. It's basically a free appliance if you buy a 3-year renewal SKU. So we market it as it's like getting the box for free. In essence, that's what the price point is. So any customers who are looking to move across to WatchGuard from either existing WatchGuard kit or from competing vendor, feel free to offer them this promotion. Just buy the 3-year UTM software suite renewal SKU. More lions. Part of the partner program as well is also access to all the competing product information. So we know that there are other guys out there. We mentioned it on the Magic Quadrant. We sit in the same area as Fortinet and SonicWall, for example. And there's specific battle cards that will help you sell against those competitors. The main one that I've already mentioned before was price versus performance. That's typically where we'll win. But if a customer's got a specific requirement, feel free to use any of those. I'm pretty much done.